Hello people of YouTube, and welcome back. So, new year, new 52 game challenge. So yeah, I can't believe I'm making this video so soon after last year's failed attempt of only 26 games, or was it even 20? No, I think it was 25 games. I didn't even make the halfway mark. So yeah, this year I've got a lot less of a social life, a lot less things going on. So because of that, I've actually made a good chunk into my 52 game challenge. So to be honest, a lot of the games are a lot shorter than what some of them were last year as well, which is probably part to do with it. I had a lot of games I started and I didn't finish last year as well. Not that I've not done that this year, but it's become a lot less. So no beer or on coffee. See, I don't even need beer to not know what I'm talking about. So trying to become a professional YouTuber, I've made a list. So we've not got just games that I've beaten, but we're also going to do a bit of a quick pledge. I've seen a lot of people doing pledge videos this year, which is quite nice to see. I pledged 10 games last year, and out of them 10 games, I beat one game. So I'm going to just use the same list again because I pledged them for a reason, and that reason is because I wanted to actually play the games. So I'm going to just list them off quickly now. This is not like a pledge video, but it's just a quick one. Namco versus Capcom. That's a strategy game, basically the precursor to Project X Zone on the PS2. Only came out in Japan, but there's a translation patch which I have. Persona 2, which I've got on the PSP. That might not get done. I would like to play it, but I find playing handhelds not as much fun as I used to. Shin Megami Tensei 5, looking forward to that. I've got it on the Switch, but I might upgrade it to the PlayStation 5 version. Mega Man 11, now I've played that, but it kicked my ass, so I don't think I finished it. Or did I finish it on the pledge? Maybe I'll finish it on the pledge. So maybe I've done two. But anyway, I'll have to have a look at that one. Final Fantasy X2. So I went to actually go play this last year, and then I realised I only had the 360 version. And because I beat the first one, Final Fantasy X... No, hang on. What am I talking about? This is Final Fantasy 13 2. I've wrote it down wrong. Although I could do with beating Final Fantasy X2 as well. But anyway, I beat Final Fantasy 13 on the PlayStation 3. I've played Final Fantasy 13 2 on the Xbox 360, but I want to keep it the continuation because then eventually I want to play Lightning Returns. Next up, Captain Commando on the PlayStation 3. I think that's going to be a wild ride on that one. I don't think it's got like great reviews, but I've always been intrigued by it. Nano Breaker, which is a Konami PS2 game. Always wanted to play that game. Looked great. Infamous 2, beat that game, beat that last year, so that's one that I don't have to play. Killer 7 on the PS2, I can't believe I've never actually played that game, but I love all of like the Suda 51 kind of games. And last but no means least, Snatcher on the Mega CD, so heard so many good things about that. I've played Police Noughts up until the point that my battery died in my Saturn, and I was near the end, and I'm not playing it all again. Just to see jiggly boob physics, but I will play the Mega CD one. So yeah, hopefully you will see them games pop up in these 52 game challenge updates. I'm hoping so. Hopefully I just won't fall off like I did last year. But I mean, I don't know. It's all for a bit of fun, isn't it? It's not a competition. It's just for fun, and what is the point of having all these games if you don't play them? So yeah, also I also have a secondary list. Now a lot of people would count these in games that they've beaten, but I don't, unless certain things happen, and that is my shmups. So I started doing a little list last year. I always forget to put them on sometimes, but if I do remember to put them on, like I put them on Instagram so I remember. But if I use multiple continues, or like the amount of continues that's not given like as per like a normal run on your console or something like that, this just goes into my shmup beating collection. and it doesn't count in my 52 game challenge. What people can do whatever they want, but that's just my rules. My rules, we all have our different rules, and it's not as strict as what I call it, the Retro Collect. Like Retro Collect was very strict on some certain games, certain parameters that you have. But yeah, my rules are, if I've used credits, like a lot of credits especially, it's got to be 1cc or it's not beaten. Right, anyway, enough faffing. What have we got? So the first game I beat that with like a million continues, it's Trouble Witches Neo. Now this is a great looking cute up. Hopefully I'll put a little video there maybe. Well, like it's a very good cute up. I prefer this over Cotton, to be honest. I'm trying to remember what the mechanics are other than just being really cute and like over the top. Now I did play some Dragon Kabosha at the same time. Miss Kaiboshi, Dragon Maid, whatever. And I didn't like that. And I put this on and it just like blew it out of the water. This is a fantastic game. If you can try and play it, do so. But it will take all your credits very easily after the first couple of stages. And then, yeah, it'll just kick your ass, but kicks your ass in a nice, pretty way. Next up, I can't show you, so I'll hopefully have a little video. That is Hatcher Mecha Fighter. Now, that's the last game I've actually beaten. And I played it on the arcades last night. I had a bit of a, well, I tidied up my game room. Even though I'm still down here recording videos, my game room's actually tidy. First time for like 6 months, I think it is. Like I say, just been too busy and couldn't be bothered to do the wiring. That was the thing that was really putting me off. But anyway, Hatcher Mecha Fighter, it's another cute 'em up. Must be the year of the cute 'em ups this year. But yeah, that is a cool arcade only game. It was on Arcade Archives, not Nintendo Arcade. It was on like the Arcade Archives, download only, PlayStation 4. I think I got a platinum on it because it was very easily to do. Either a platinum or just all the trophies anyway, I don't know. Very easy to do. Very easy first couple of stages, but then it just becomes obscenely hard, especially more so like the later stages. Like the last 2 stages, I just don't think is possible. I think your character is just too big, and yeah, it's not that great. It was a good game. It was a fun game. It wasn't like a serious shmup. You're not gonna like lose like hours trying to like beat it like 1cc it unless you're an absolute madman. But yeah, it's a good game. Will I go back to play it again? Possibly, but it's yeah, it wasn't the greatest. I mean, some of the these squirrels would just jump out and like into you, and like you just didn't have time to react. I didn't like that kind of mechanic. I like sort of like warnings at least, so you can sort of like position yourself. Yeah, so that was my shmups. I'm gonna have a bit of a sip of coffee. That was my shmups. So what have I actually beaten this year? So the first game. So I've been playing a lot of Xbox Game Pass recently. I got 3 months for like, I think it was like either 16 quid or maybe 21 quid for 3 months. So yeah, and the reason why I kind of got Game Pass was this one game. So I was waiting for it to come out, but I got playing some other games. I can't remember what did I play, but some really good like Xbox only exclusive games, which I was trying to limit myself to, but I kind of run out of them. So I did start playing other games to kind of make my 16 quid work a little bit longer. But the first game, I think I got my money's worth, and it was Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. So Xbox exclusive for now. It will come out on PlayStation. It's been made by Machine Gun Games or whatever it's called. Basically, the guys that do Wolfenstein, and yeah, they've made an Indiana Jones action adventure game, which is very unique. Is probably the best way to describe it. Yeah, it was a great game. I really enjoyed playing it. However, it was like definitely a 6 or a 7 out of 10. If it wasn't for the fact it was Indiana Jones, I think I probably would have got very bored of it. But like, I've just got to say, Nolan, I'm sure, is it Nolan North? Can't remember, but the guy that plays Joel in The Last of Us, he played Indiana Jones, and he had the best impression of Harrison Ford ever. Like, it did feel like Harrison Ford voiced Indiana Jones. It was crazy. But yeah, if you didn't know any better and you didn't really look into it, you would have thought it was Harrison Ford from like 30 years ago. But no, absolutely, the sound and everything like that. The story just kept me going. It was quite an exhilarating story, quite fun to go through everything. But it's one of them games. It had too many ideas, and it was like a master of none, if that makes sense. So yeah, it played like a Wolfenstein game, but then it like took the gunplay aspect out of it away, and it became a melee style game, and it just felt really clunky. And it kind of like, sometimes it kind of felt quite fun and it like interesting to sort of like play with your fists. That sounds fucking wrong, doesn't it? But yeah, like doing a bit of melee combat and stuff like that. But it just, like, the engine that was set up for it was made for gunplay, and the guns were all gimped and stuff. So there was guns in there, but obviously you can't have an Indiana Jones game where you're just shooting everyone, because that's just not what Indiana Jones is. So yeah, and then it had like the climbing sections and stuff like that, which is a bit like Tomb Raider, where you kind of like what everyone was expecting the Indiana Jones games to be, like Tomb Raider or Uncharted, but it was more Wolfenstein-y. And then it was an adventure game, sort of like where you had like side missions to do as well. And I never really got into doing the side missions. I did a few just to sort of like level myself up a little bit to help myself, but it just felt wrong. I just didn't enjoy it. Yeah, the enemies were just all like characterless. I don't know. There was like some really good outstanding moments in there, but I really can't remember what they were. I just remember enjoying it. Like, the graphics were great. I played in an Xbox Series S, which I don't have the X. I just have the Series S. I have that up in my bedroom, just as a Netflix player, really. But yeah, but I played it on there, and honestly, like, the graphics were great. There was a little bit of like frame rate dips, but generally like not bad at all. So if you've got a Series S, like, yeah, go for it. Don't worry about like the graphics and stuff. Go for it. Like I say, definitely got my money's worth, but it was one of the games that just tried too many things, and it was trying to be too many different things, and it just didn't quite work for my personal taste. I know a lot of people really like it, and I know a lot of other people are on the fence with it. Next up, Warhammer Boltgun. Right, so I've been wanting this game for a while. It only came out physically on the Switch, and I didn't want to jump that hoop. I wanted to play it on the PlayStation or a proper console at least. And yeah, so it was on Game Pass. I thought, fuck it, digital only, let's go for it. Saves the pennies, doesn't it? And yeah, what a way to like go from one game that was a bit like that to like a boomer shooter. So like we're shooting like a game that's designed to look like a game that was made from the past. And yeah, I love the Warhammer visuals. I think they're very cool. I never really got into Warhammer as a kid, but I like I say, I've always enjoyed Warhammer games just because of what they look like. I just can't be arsed of painting models, so I appreciate the artwork and stuff. But yeah, like I started playing this game and I got like halfway through the first chapter. And then like without dying, and then all of a sudden the death started to come in, and yeah, I got past the first chapter and I had to reduce the levels, the difficulty. It became fucking brutal. Visually a great, stunning looking game, but it kind of like it was really good, but then it sort of like repeated itself. Like the characters were the same enemies that you fought like over and over again through all of the chapters, and like the levels were like very sprawling. You kind of got like after the first 6 or 7, like the first half of like the first chapter, it just blew me away. I loved every second of it, and then it started to get like this like creeping of like repetition. But that being said, I really enjoyed it. Like I say, I had to reduce the difficulty because it was just fucking kicking my ass. Like seriously, I'm terrible at video games. It was really great to start off with. Like it just felt like I felt like the difficulty was perfect. It was just like you didn't really, I wasn't dying or anything like that, but it just felt like, I don't know, I love collecting health and not waiting for a recharge of health like you do in modern games. So it was quite cool in that respect. The weapons felt meaty, but then, like I say, like the repetition started coming in, and like by the end, like the last chapter, I was just trying to like get it over with, if that makes sense, which is a shame because it was doing a lot of things right. It just felt like it just needed a little bit more time in the pot, sort of like to be developed a little bit better. It felt like the beginning was fantastic, and then it just got rushed and like sort of just made to be like overly extended. But yeah, great game, but probably another 7 out of 10, but in a different way than Indiana Jones was. Next up, Turnip Boy robs a bank. Again, no physical on this game. It's a shame because the first game, Turnip Boy, what was it, causes tax aversion, does tax aversion. I need to fucking learn how to speak. But yeah, that first game was great as like a Zelda-like game. This game, completely different. Completely different. It had very similar in some respects. Like you have like these really crazy weapons like fucking carrots and shit like that. But like it plays almost like Hotline Miami, but like cuter. And basically it's a roguelike. So what you need to do is you're in this one bank and you go in there and you're trying to rob it, basically. You're trying to get all of the gold, whatever. So that then is used to build up your weapons. So you only have you start off with only a couple of minutes, and then after a couple of minutes, the police come and they're overpowered and they'll kill you, basically. So you've only got a couple of minutes to do what you do, trying to hustle like some of the other characters, doing other things, and then you come back and you buy stronger weapons. So it's basically like rinse, repeat, doing the same thing. But then you start going into these different places, like different offices, and then it starts going a bit more like surreal. Some of the places are randomly generated, I think. But each run isn't the same. So basically you've got one run to try and rob this bank and trying to get to the end. But you're slowly unlocking little bits every time, so you can get further and further away. It's great. I love them kind of games. I always think a lot of the roguelites are supposed to play like that, but I think this is just more of a simple version. This for me has the best kind of gameplay loop. It was quite addicting to me. I really like just unlocking that little bit further and then going. For me, that is it gives me that one more run. I just need that one more run, and perfect game for that one. So for me, 8.5, maybe 9. Great game. Don't think it's for everyone though. Don't think that one's for everyone. Next up, Planet of Lana. Another great game, but on a different level. So quite action, intense, like a lot of dying on the last 2 games, even three games. And then the next one, total opposite. It's a very nice, serene game. I heard about this when it got announced, and then I completely forgot about it. And again, I don't know if this has got a physical. I do think it's got a physical. I think it has got one, but I've not got it. I didn't really think it was going to be as good as it was. But yeah, I started playing it, and as soon as I started playing it, I was like, Sean, Retro Games Revived, you need to get on this, because I know you really like Limbo. And basically, this is a genre of a platforming, what was probably the best way to do, it's like an epic story-driven platformer is probably the best way to describe it. Very simple, sort of like Prince of Persia-esque sort of like platforming. It's like a puzzle platform. You've kind of got to learn how to like get past certain things, and then eventually you get like this little sprite thing that like helps you along. So you've got to make sure you get past like sort of like machinery and stuff like that without getting spotted. Great game, and Sean did a better review than me because he just did 2 games to talk about, so he was able to talk about it more in depth. But like, so maybe I'll put a link down below. But Sean Retro Games Revived, he said it best. Like it wasn't a hard game. It was you didn't need to go and look up a guide to go through it, and sometimes that's quite refreshing. Sometimes, like, well, I say sometimes, quite a lot of times, I'm shit at games. I told you, my logic is just not there anymore. So quite a lot of times I do have to look at guides and stuff like that. But this one wasn't one. I didn't feel like, there was a couple of times where I had to do the puzzles 2 or 3 times and then they clicked. But it wasn't to a point where like I needed to get a guide, and that was just good. It just made me feel good about myself being a gamer again, because I've started to be like a bit depressed, thinking I'm shit at games now. Old age, eh? Old age. Next up, we've got to get a physical game. And it's on the PlayStation. We're off the Xbox. All them were on the Xbox on Game Pass. Now we're on Hyper Sentinel on the PlayStation 4. Now, I wanted some shmup action, but this isn't a shmup as such. Although I do have it in my shmup section. So this plays a lot like Uridium on the old CPCs, Micros, Amiga. I think, well, Uridium 2 was on the Amiga, wasn't it? And basically, you're sort of like going up and down, flying around, going over like this spaceship, and you basically go backwards and forwards. Like you can reverse anytime you want. And yeah, this is a great game. This is, it's not like a massive game or anything like that. I think there's only 12 bosses, so that must be 12 levels. Yeah, not too hard. It was quite a good fun experience. This is a strictly limited release, number 13, unlucky, but it's a good release, and I think you can still pick this up quite cheap. Yeah, it's kind of got like this voxel pixel style that really suits the game. I think you can even change the modes to look like C64 graphics and Spectrum graphics if you really wanted to. But yeah, this plays like Uridium, but with extra weapons, extra bump, a lot more power. So yeah, quite a good game, and yeah, very different to what I was playing recently. Did I do it in 1cc? No, I died a couple of times, but the game's sort of like set up not to be, it's not a credit muncher kind of game. It's not that kind of thing. So for me, that's why I've got it in this section and not in the shmup section. So yeah, great game, fun. Definitely recommend it, at least if you can get it digitally cheap. Next up, so from there, we went back to Game Pass, so hence no game. This one does have a physical, but I was on the fence about it. The cover of it was very bland, average, and it was called Road 96, and I think Sean recommended me this the first time. In fact, quite a lot of people have said good things about it, but not really. I wasn't really expecting the game that came out of like these recommendations. I think a lot of people said it's like a walking simulator, which it is. It really is a walking simulator, except it's a very strange procedurally generated like story, where like every run can be completely different. So basically you are these children that are trying to escape the town, the country that they're in. It's very political. There's a political election going on, and like you kind of can go do various different scenarios, and basically you're escape children that are trying to get to the other side, and whether or not you make it or not is up to you. You can like hitchhike, steal cars, walk up the roads, but you've got like energy levels, you've got like loads of like little things to think about, and yeah, it's quite a cool story driven game. The graphics are very PS2-esque, which kind of adds to its sort of like look and feel. And yeah, there was some great music in there, some not so great music in there. You collect cassettes as you're playing the game. And yeah, it kind of like, it knocked me for 6 because I wasn't expecting this kind of game. In fact, I don't even know what kind of game it is. Walking simulator probably is the best way to describe it, but it's you have more like things to do than a normal typical walking simulator. Like you've got a lot more decisions to make. How are you going to get across the country? And you've got to try, like you've got to try and have money to get across because you need the money for certain things. But obviously you don't know what's going to come up that you're going to need either money for, your energy levels. You just don't know what's coming up. And yeah, there's like serial killers. There's a TV presenter who's like very egotistical. Loads of like these characters. There's like little geeky person. Police officers like sort of like are the bad people, but like kind of this one, well, maybe you can make your own decision. So anyway, definitely worth playing. If you can get that cheap, definitely play. If you want something a bit different, that is definitely one for you. Next up, talking of different, we've got Just Ant. I might have to put a little caption there to say what it's called. But yeah, again, another Game Pass one. I just like the art style, the look of it. I've not heard anything about it. I was just like looking for games that I've not heard of before that looked interesting. So I started playing it. Very indie game, very sort of like cel shaded, sort of like minimal kind of look, but enough graphical detail there to be looking impressive, if that makes sense. And yeah, like it blew me. Another one that blew me away. Very good start of the year, really. And yeah, this game, it's probably from a walking simulator, it's like a climbing simulator. So this has got some of the best climbing mechanics I've ever played in a game. Usually when you're playing Tomb Raider or Uncharted, when you're climbing around, you kind of like have a set route of where you're going to go. And there's very rarely times that you're going to fall off. Where this, you control each of your hands movements independently, and like, there's various different routes that you can go, and different mechanics that unlock that make like the climbing really fun and something to look forward to. To be honest, I do like the climbing mechanics in Tomb Raider, but this, like after playing Indiana Jones, this is like just made me really enjoy that mechanic again. Plus, it's very minimal story. It's one of them kind of games where you have to pick up like sort of like letters that are like scattered around the world to understand the lore of the actual world. But so it's probably a little bit akin to Ico or what's that other game called? I can't remember what it's called now. PS3 sort of darling. Can't remember, but yeah, very indie game, very fun if you like your climbing. There's bits where like wind comes along and you have to like kind of get into the wind so you can like jump higher and stuff like that. Fantastic game. Really liked it. I did get lost in one bit where you sort of like go into this like in a city sort of bit. Kind of got lost and I had to restart it to like go through it again. So that was probably the only like hard bit of the game. Well, again, not a very difficult game. You won't need a tutorial or a video on that one either. In fact, I don't think I've watched any videos on any of them games yet. So yeah, definitely worth it. If you want something that's like not going to tax you, but like you just want of a good sort of like visually calming time, that's the game for you. Next up, it is another game I've got physically, not on Game Pass. We played this on PlayStation 4, and it is, in fact, this probably is a pickup. I don't think I've put this on a pickup video. So yeah, pickups. We have got the Karate Kid Street Rumble. So yeah, this looks amazing when you watch YouTube videos. It looks like sort of Splinter's Revenge, like the Turtles, like a side-scrolling brawler, which I was really craving something like that again, because I don't know how many times I've played Turtles, too many times. Definitely played it more than Streets of Rage 4, which I enjoyed as well. But yeah, so wanted something good. I've seen the trailers and everything like that, but I've not really heard much people talk about it. So I picked it up, And Pete Fighter said that game's terrible. And I was like, it doesn't look terrible. I don't know what you're talking about. And so I started playing it, and yeah, it looks fantastic. It just like, it's a very visually stunning game. Like a lot of games of like side-scrolling brawlers, they're jumping on the bandwagon of Turtles: Splinter of Revenge. They're going for that like 16/32-bit look, but like better because of the power. So yeah, the pixelated sort of like look, and it works. It really works, but it just feels like a cash grab because they're just jumping on it. They're not doing it with any love or reason. The music on it is just so average. It's so boring, and like, I don't know, it's weird because like it does a lot of things right, but it just does a lot of things just so meh. It's more of a disappointment rather than a bad game, if that makes sense. It's not a bad game. You're not, if you pick this up and play it, you're not going to hate it. Well, you're just going to hate that it wasn't given more time, or to people that appreciate the franchise, and more importantly, the gaming sort of like genre that is side-scrolling brawlers, because it doesn't, like I say, it does a lot of things right, but it just doesn't finish it. It's just very average, which is a shame because it kind of, like I say, it does a lot of things right. So basically, you're playing through Karate Kid 1 and 2, basically. Was there a third bit to it as well? I can't remember, but yeah, all the stages are all sort of like as if you're playing through the two films. So lots of recognizable sort of like scenarios, people. Like I say, it does a lot of things right, but just like, you just feel like you just end up doing the same repeated sort of like attack, just because you know what the best way to do it is. There's no variety. Everything just becomes stagnant, which is a shame. It's a shame. So yeah, more disappointment with this game. It could have been so much better given to the right people. But yeah, 5 out of 10. 5 out of 10. Next up, we have got another pickup. We've not shown this on the pickups video before, so no point showing it again. So it's Iron Meat on the PS5. Now, another strictly limited game. I'm going to talk about this because it's a bit frustrating. So again, this was supposed to be strictly limited, sort of return to grace. There was like, we've got this game, and if you order it, it's all going to be posted out within a month or something like that. And then when it was time to get released, they actually brought the release window forward by a week, and I ordered this within an hour of that like new time window when it got from the announcement. So I was like, yes, I can't wait to go get this. Can't wait for it to play it. Unfortunately, only a PS5. So yeah, I started like rubbing my hands, getting excited by it, and then I started watching other people getting them through the door, and I was like, oh, mine will be any minute now. Fucking strictly limited fucked up again. This only came like a couple of weeks ago. How frustrating. So which I think I was waiting 4 months, maybe 5 months for this. For when they're saying it's going to be sent out in a couple of weeks to a month. Yeah, it was just like it's just a shame because they was there, but they fucked up. Like, I was one of the first people to order it, and I know people ordered it a week after me, and they still got it like in like a lot sooner than me. But anyway, we're not here to rant about Strictly Limited. What is the game like? The game is fucking good. It was worth the wait. It was just a frustrating situation of it all. Yeah, so this is being made by Retroware, who I think they're umbrella over Angry Video Game Nerd and stuff like that. I know they made his game as well, the Angry Video Game Nerd game. So yeah, there's a lot of like nostalgic sort of video game love. Basically, this is just a rip-off of Contra, for better or worse, and it's definitely for the better. This is a fantastic game. This is one that I'm definitely going to play again. It's quite hard, but not too hard. I love 2D platformers being hard. 2D platformers do not have a reason to be easy. I never reduce the the gameplay on stuff like this, because I love dying and then trying again and just getting that little bit further and then just trying to get past, and then like it all clicks, like, and then you like, then it's easy. Then it's just figuring out patterns. But yeah, this comes with a nice manual. It smells like the old Vice magazines back in the day as well, if anyone remembers that. But yeah, it literally is just Contra. Like it could be equally a Contra sequel, and it's a shame because all the Contras that have been coming out recently just don't. And this is Contra, like, or Probotector. This plays like a lot like Probotector, actually. I think it's made to look like Probotector rather than Contra. But yeah, Konami, this is what we want. This is what we want, not the crap that you're trying to. I know you're trying to make the games a little bit different because you don't want to do the same game again. But that's what we want. We want that same game again. And the last time there was a good Contra game, it wasn't even called fucking Contra. It was called like Operation whatever it's called, on the Xbox 360 download. Anyway, another rant, and we're back to the Xbox what is it called? Game Pass. And this is one that I wanted to play for a while. This originally came out on the Xbox One, and it is Quantum Break. Now, again, like, after playing Indiana Jones, I really enjoyed it. However, like, the open worldness of it just kind of broke the game a little bit for me. And playing Quantum Break just reminded me how good, like, linear games are. Like, it's a genre that is missing fucking greatly. It's like a disease that, like, developers have to, like, make games with a bit of open worldness, because, you know, we don't want the gamers getting bored. They want like space to breathe in the world. I want story. I want the direction. I want every moment to count. And Quantum Break was that. It was fantastic. It had like in between chapters, you had like half an hour like actual TV series to watch with some of the characters that you're playing through the game, which is bizarre. It kind of like, I kind of lost what was going on a little bit, because it felt like very jarring between the two. So I don't think it really worked how they wanted it to work, but it's quite a cool concept. I didn't see the first chapter, because there was like, they asked me if I wanted to stream it. I couldn't stream it. So I had to download a secondary pack, which was like 60 gigs. So if you're going to play it, make sure you download both packs. Like, it's called like the video pack or something. So make sure you do that before you start playing it, because like me, you don't want to lose progress, and you don't want to have to wait for it to download again, because it was like an hour or something to download. So I had to stop playing after the first chapter, and when I came back I missed it. Anyway, another rant over. But yeah, it's this game, it's about time travel. You go to one of your friends, and like at the university, because he's developing this time traveling module that your brother also was like helping develop at another time, and obviously all fucking time breaks, and like the world is about to end because of time imploding on itself. And yeah, basically, like it's fucking great. It was like all sci-fi and everything like that, and like you had like these time glitches, and that was really cool to watch in the TV series how it all worked and everything as well. But like I got a bit confused. I missed why that your mate that you went to go see, he became the bad guy, and I don't know what happened. I must have been getting distracted on the phone or something, but I missed the bit where there was like, oh yeah, this is the reason why he became a bad guy, other than the fact that he kind of got stuck in another bit, which you'll see when you play the game. But yeah, fantastic. It was just like fun, action packed, great pace to it. It was just like, I just miss games like that. And to say it was made for the Xbox Series 1, is that what you call it? Just Xbox One, not Xbox One. The graphics were fantastic. And yeah, like I think it's a bit of a bit of a lost art of games like that. So anyway, we're getting quite long now. So this is the last game I beat, or is it? And it is Raiden Nova. So a black sheep in the fucking collection of Raiden games. I know a lot of people don't like this, but I was kind of looking forward to it in one reason, and I heard it was because it was a Vampire Survivors crossover with, well, not crossover, but like rip-off with Raiden characters, which have no reason to be like crossed over like that. It really isn't. It's a shame because this game could have been better, but like they used the worst franchise to like base all the models off, which is Raiden 5. Yeah, it's a shame because yeah, it could have been better, but hey ho. Yeah, a spaceship like this has no meaning to be a twin stick shooter. So yeah, it's one of them kind of games where you've only got 6 stages, but you'll find it hard getting to the 4th stage without dying, because it's not supposed to be played like that. It's supposed to be played like when you do a run, you get like all these medals, and then you go to a shop, upgrade your ship, like your health, your firepower, or the special one-ups and stuff, not one-ups, special options and stuff like that, and you just slowly grind at it until you can beat the game. And again, I've just been playing Vampire Survivors on my phone, and I've been getting addicted to that gameplay loop. So yeah, when you play the first 4 stages and stuff like that, it's hard to grind the medals. However, I started doing what's called the Ultimate Unlimited or Infinity one, where it's basically you can play each of the stages for as long as you can survive for, basically. And yeah, that I found like it was very slow to get your medals, but once you get to the end and you're extremely powered up, you then can get like the higher value medals, which are the red medals, and they drop a lot more. And then because of that, you can upgrade your ship a lot more. So yeah, I did an hour and a half run doing that, and I just stopped because I was like, oh, I'm sick of it. I'm kind of gutted I didn't carry on, because I just killed myself. And I found out that I was I'm on the leaderboard of like 114, and I could have definitely got higher up in the ranks, because I just felt like a badass at that moment. Like I say, I was super powered up. I was like health completely full. Yeah, we could have been doing that all day, I think. But yeah, basically, yeah. So how you play it, again, it's like a twin stick shooter. You slowly get like these what is called like enemies, like that you just can kill off very easily, and then you level up quite quickly, and then through leveling up and everything like that, you can get different options. Very Vampire Survivory, and yeah, it's like it's a slow grind to keep getting bigger and bigger and more weapons, stronger. It doesn't, like I say, not in the same way as a normal shmup. This isn't a normal shmup in the slightest. Don't think of this as a Raiden game. Other than the fact that they've used the ships, it's a Vampire Survivor clone. That's basically what it is. And if you know what one of them is, great. Is it a good Vampire Survivor clone? Probably not. You've got bosses at the end of it, which you don't have in Vampire Survivor. Kind of you do, but like yeah, it's done a bit like I say, more of a crossover. It's got like shmup-esque like tropes, but also Vampire Survivor tropes. But because of that, I just didn't find the grind very satisfying compared to Vampire Survivors. And I played like another one, which was Geometry Wars. That was another Vampire Survivor clone with another shmup sort of like franchise, and I enjoyed that a lot more than this, to be honest, just because the one more round sort of feeling that you get comes along with that game. Yeah, I didn't feel like that way, although I did just give like a whole day. I think I played it for like 7 hours, and I was very contemplating to get the platinum on this, but then I realised like some of the things that you have to do it. I probably would have to be playing the game for another 20 hours. Not that it would have been hard. It's not a hard platinum to get. It's just a time sink of a platinum to get. So if you're a platinum hunter, or a trophy hunt or whatever, definitely this is one for you to get. You could probably do it in about 20 odd hours, but it's just, you're going to be doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again to get it. So yeah, so that's the last game I've beaten. I'm actually playing another game. I'm at the end, and I'm on the last boss, and it's absolutely killing me. I actually don't think I'll be able to beat it, but I'm going to leave it until the next one just in case I do. But last up, we've got Inversion. So I'm not going to talk about this one because this is part of the 52 game challenge, January challenge. This was picked out by Gordon. It was one of my picks, third pick out of like the original sort of lineup. So I got all my games picked, and basically I just chose games that I wanted to play that was in my collection. So have I beat this? Well, you'll have to go on the 52 game challenge on Sunday, this Sunday coming up. I don't know, what is it, the 15th or 16th of February on Sunday, probably 7 or 8 o'clock. I'll do a listing eventually. Go there. There's going to be a few of us who've played it. We're going to talk about it, give our thoughts, and probably talk about it for an hour or two, and then pick out another game, which we're all choosing new games. I've not chosen my 3 games yet, but I will add them on, and hopefully they'll all be as good as they were this year. But yeah, that's my load of games. Thanks for getting to this point, because I know it's 46 minutes. Yeah, did any of them tickle your fancy? Have I made you want to play any of them? Have I made you want any of you avoid any of them? Let me know, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, bye.